the America's Cup in Naples is over a year away, but we have got some racing coming up in the short term at the end of May in Sardinia. This is going to be the first time in this edition of the America's Cup that the teams are going to be facing off against each other. There are plenty of twists in the format of the racing, and of course it's not going to be in the AC75s, it's going to be in the baby brothers, the AC40s, but they are still very much a boat that we are expecting to test our sailors to the limit. So to get a bit of a rundown on what kind of racing we're going to be looking at, who's going to be on the boats, and who might have an early edge in terms of the competition, I have got Magnus Wheatley with me here. Magnus, you've been poring over all the recon that's been coming out. You've been talking to all the teams, and I want to get into who we're going to be seeing on the boats, who might be making a bit of a comeback, what teams are being a little bit secretive, and what sailors that we definitely do know about. But before we get to there, let's just very quickly sum up what it is we're going to be seeing. This is going to be 3 days of AC40 racing, fleet racing, and then match racing. And it's not just going to be one boat per team, is it?
No, so you've got 3 teams who are fielding 2 boats. And one of those boats is, let's call it the senior team. And that is staffed by anybody they like. So any age group, they could put the youngsters on there. They could do whatever they want with it. The second boat, if they field it, has to be a 50-50 split between youth and women. And that's where it gets really interesting.
We have got 5 teams coming to Sardinia. And as you say, we've got a number of those fielding 2 AC40s, going for that second AC40 being a combination of youth and female sailors, as per the rules. But we do not have 5 teams entered for this edition of the America's Cup. We have got one other publicly declared team. We have got the American Racing Challenger Team USA entered, but they won't be doing it. So This is a late entry for them, all agreed by the board. They're now part of it. But that's one team that we will not see in Sardinia.
Correct. They've just acquired the assets of American Magic. So that's the 2 AC40s, I think 2 AC75s, but maybe only one is going to be the operational one, which is the latest version of Patriot. Those are in Pensacola. I spoke to Giles Scott earlier in the week, and he said
Giles Scott, this is the sailing director.
The sailing director. Double gold medalist, fantastic sailor. And he's building a team. But I said to Giles, will you, if we do have a second preliminary regatta at some point over the summer, potentially in Naples, will you feasibly be there? He said, certainly one AC40, but not getting 2 across may be a little bit challenging. So the door is open, and I expect to see an American team on the line in the second one. But for this one, we've got 5 teams. 3 of those teams have 2 boats. That makes an 8-boat fleet. They all start on one line. They all go off, which is going to be thrilling and exciting to watch them going off. And it just like we saw in the last preliminary regattas in AC37, it's going to be brilliant. The boundary calls, the duckings, everything else. But the cool thing is that we've got 3 of those boats on the line who are staffed by women and youth. And I think it could be a really big, significant moment. And I'm really eyeing the young Italian team, because I think it's going to be Marco Gradoni, who won the Youth America's Cup, is a sensational sailor, allegedly unbeatable in the sim. No one can get close to him. Very, very fast on the water. If he pairs with someone like Margarita Porro, who's the co-helm and the Women's America's Cup winning boat, my goodness, they're not going to be easy to beat. So I'm really eyeing those youth teams to step up and grab their opportunity.
So in terms of schedule, we've got 3 days. We've got fleet racing all the way through until we get to that final little point where we're going to have match racing, traditional America's Cup style, and that's going to be a little bit of an insight as to who has got that boat handling to match race, to control each other off the line. Who do you think we should be watching for in terms of new faces, new people that are going to be stepping through, and you're thinking this is going to be their thing? Watch them now.
100% it's the Kiwis. The Kiwi sausage machine has turned again, and the top dog has gone, Pete Burling, and in comes Seb Menzies. And he's been getting most of the wheel time on the AC75. He's also rapid in the AC40. I'd be surprised if he's not on the, let's call it the senior boat of Team New Zealand, partnering with Outrage. Because if you look at how the Kiwis approached AC37, they had a tight team of Burling, Outrage, Maloney and Tuke, and they basically hardly ever rotated. Now, what we're seeing in this cup, they've brought in the likes of Josh Armitt, Jake Pye, and a whole roster of women from Erica Dawson to Serena Woodall, Lena Sanderson, Polly Powery, Joe Alley, obviously. But you look at their youth team, you look at Jake Pye, international moth guru, one of the only people who can hold Matthias Coots downwind in a moth, a world champion, a little bit by default, came second as well. And Josh, who was fourth at the Olympics. Those are the kind of people that I'm looking at and going, that is the future of the America's Cup. And I'm looking, which ones can handle the pressure and which ones are going to make a name for themselves there. There's one gold standard person that all those young people are measured against, and that's Marco Gradoni in the Italian team.
Yeah, sure.
No question. Three-time optimist, world champion, only person in history ever to do it, and has just focused on America's Cup. Hasn't gone off and done SailGP, hasn't gone off and done Moths. And, I've told you this story when I said to him, I said, one day you're going to win the America's Cup, aren't you, Marco? And he just turned to me ice cold and said, I know. And honestly, he's that good, and I think he makes the AC75. That's my long held belief, and I think that'd be a very, very good move for. But he'd have to upset a 3-time winner of the Cup or a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. That's quite a big ask, but I think he's got he's the guy to go for. Elsewhere, I think the Brits are at an early building stage. I'm not sure that they will be able to handle it the way that the big teams are handling their youth at the moment. Ian Walker's a brilliant coach, though. Robbie Wilson as well. It'll be interesting to see where the opportunity comes for them and whether they take it. There's one other name, very big name in Switzerland, which is Nico Rolas, who will almost certainly make the boat by dint of being Swiss. Because they've got an awful lot of non-nationals. They've got, I think
it's crazy. I mean, I look at it and I think, hang on a minute, the rule is you're only allowed 2, I think, like non-nationals on the boat, and they've got an awfully long list.
If you assume that Phil Robertson and Goody, an Australian and a Brit, and Pietro Sibello, they claim qualifies as a national. So if you have Sibello and Rolas, then I think you get under the limit. But there's a lot of talent. The big teams have a lot of talent.
Okay, that's you being kind, and that's great. Is there anywhere that you look and you see a little bit of weakness?
It's a very good question. I think the Brits look weak on the co-helm side. Dylan Fletcher's obviously very good. Ben Cornish, Ben's a terrific sailor, ex-Finn sailor, Giles Scott's tune-up partner. I just wonder if he has the foiling talent. Everybody says he has, but when I look at the big guns, you say Outrage and Menzies, Tita and Burling, Gradoni and Porro, and Cornish and Fletcher. Okay, I'm quite surprised that they didn't hire big names there. I'd be surprised if going forward, as you say, there sounds like there's problems there. But if the money, the financing, the sponsorship comes in, I'd be quite surprised if they don't sign somebody who we all go, oh, right, okay, that's interesting. Tudor team Alinghi, just from dint of the amount of time that they've had, it's a very, very new team coming together. I was really impressed with Paul Goodison, how he was the figurehead for the team, leading the team, and people were jumping to his tune. But if results don't go their way, that's something I'm kind of looking at. It'd be interesting to see how that team reacts. The one to watch is the French, because you put the Spanish duo on one side, Botan and Trittel. Right, yeah. 2 gold medalists sitting there. And on the other side, you'll probably have Quentin Delapierre and Jason Saunders, no slouches themselves. This is a team that can deliver consistency, and I'm looking at it thinking, okay, that could be a very, very strong team. Where the weakness is in the second teams, is how these people are going to gel when suddenly you've been a bit of a squad and suddenly it's you two. Now it's you two. You're the trimmers, you're the helm, go. And how they gel together, that's going to be that'll be the deciding factor. So let's say in the Team New Zealand team you put Jo Allais as skipper, and she was on the starboard side. You put Jake Pye, young international moth sailor, on port, and then you start Josh Armitt and Erica Dawson behind. Let's just say you did that. Okay, that combination maybe hasn't sailed very much together. So does it work? They may have spent a lot of time in the sim together, and then may I don't know. And it's the same with the Gradoni and Margarita Porro dynamic. That could be the thing that unsticks the secondary teams.
You've got an interesting situation, it seems, where you've got a number of teams, Luna Rossa, Emirates Team New Zealand. I mean, obviously Pete Burling going from Emirates Team New Zealand to Luna Rossa, but essentially you've got a number of teams who are strong. And it feels like there's almost two tiers where you've got teams where if they don't perform, we will be going, ooh. But you've got a second tier where if they don't perform, you go, well, that's okay. You're still learning. You're still developing. You still haven't found those people. Some of those teams absolutely should already have those combinations in place, should already have those people ready to go. And I think that will be a very interesting thing to see in Sardinia, will be those teams that do, and quite rightly so, have that weight of expectation. How are they going to do?
They don't want a bad result. If you're Nathan Outridge, you do not want to come back I came fifth. That's not in the script. Pete Burling.
Oh, Pete Burling. I'm sorry. You talk about the weight of pressure. Talk about the weight of pressure. There is a very good outcome for Pete Burling, and then there is a bad outcome for Pete Burling. There is, in my opinion, there's no middle ground. He needs to beat Emirates Team New Zealand. And if he does that, what that will do internally, psychologically, to Emirates Team New Zealand, maybe we shouldn't have let him go. And if he doesn't do it, then Emirates Team New Zealand go, he wasn't all that good, like we're fine.
So if Pete starts like he started Team New Zealand in the match, he'll be off the boat. There'll be no question. But if he comes out smoking, and he comes out relaxed and freed of the shackles of Team New Zealand, because it is an intense atmosphere at Team New Zealand. It's a very intense place to work. I can tell you that from the inside. It is pressure on you all the time to work at your highest level. And that doesn't suit everybody. And, maybe the move was a good move for Pete. He turns up at Luna Rossa and smashes everybody. Well, that would be a story. I just don't think it's going to be that simple, particularly in equalised boats. I look at Team New Zealand, Outridge and Menzies, even Outridge and Draper. They've got something to prove, and it's just fantastic. It's so exciting.
There's some opportunity here to score some psychological points, and this is both the reality check, a confidence boost, or if you're unlucky, a massive slap in the face on all of the factors we're talking about: crew combination, crew dynamics, the ability to sail the boat, the ability to get the boat on the start line. And it was not surprising to me that a couple of weeks ago I was with one of the 5 teams who were going out training on their AC40. What were they practicing? They were practicing changing the jib in between races in under a couple of minutes. Right, a racing change. How quickly can we do that? I think we are going to see some people walk away from Sardinia disappointed. Some people elated, but the reasons why aren't just going to be we were sailing fast. It's going to be a lot of different skills that we're then going to see them try to emulate or rectify when we get onto the 75. I mean, it's going to be 3 good days of very interesting racing,
because there's momentum, isn't it? You build momentum into a program. Yes, we won in Cagliari, we won in Sardinia. That's a huge step forward. That's what this is all about. There's a nice Louis Vuitton trophy at the end of this regatta, but that's it. It's more about the momentum. You go back to your base, you go and speak to the shore team. Hello, mate. Well done. Yeah, that was a fantastic win. That's what they want. And only one team's going to get it.